What's going on, everybody? It is Sunday. 24. Tonight's topic of conversation. Irrational breakup. It's going to be crazy. About to get it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
And you know we did it last week. You know what I mean? Y'all already know the Firm Pressure podcast. We did this last week. You know what I'm saying? I heard that, you know what I mean, the conversation continued off the air, but I didn't see it in the comments section. So if y'all got private opinions about public conversations, I just need y'all to put it in the comment section so we can talk about it. You know what I mean? That's our issue, man. Ulysses, we try to spend a lot of time convincing one individual of what our perspective is, when the truth is we walk away with a group type of hypothesis or conclusion. All men are like this. You know how men are. Or men walk away like, man, women don't understand that. Women ain't. But we'll spend our time trying to break it down for individuals while we go out and, you know what I'm saying, make everything so corporate. It's like sometimes what you're saying about men is only true about 2 or 3 men. And sometimes what you say about women is really only based off your experience with 2 or 3 women. But in the conversation, if you're not careful, somebody say, well, men don't like it. Women ain't like. You'll think that they're an expert somehow or did proper time and research on all mankind. And it's like if all the men were like what you reject, how in the world could God be saving souls of men? And if all women were like what you think, how in the world could God be saving women?
Right.
You know, it's a thing that a lot of Christians kind of get in the habit of. They got this corporate outlook on singularities. It's unique to you and them. It happened to you and them. It didn't happen to the rest of us. So sometimes when we get together on topics that others can relate to, sometimes they have an inside view and try to take that to the outside. But it's so many different perspectives, and that's why, in order to be firm in this world, you got to know who you're dealing with.
That's right.
Everybody ain't like who you left. Everybody isn't like who you rejected. Everybody isn't like who, you couldn't work it out with. But that's not to say that there's nothing worth working out and that your story has zero effect and your experience holds no weight, no wisdom. That's why, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, bro, even the most rational people have irrational moments.
Talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes even the level-headed lose their heads every now and then. You know what I'm saying?
You preaching, sir.
Every now and then, even your wise counsel needs a little bit of wise counsel.
Oh,
There's always something that people overlook when it comes to their own actions in a situation. I love pointing the finger too. Yeah, it was them. Yeah, they hated on me. Yeah, they would never let me in. Yeah, they would never. I love it too. It feels good. It's easier than trying to check yourself. So tonight we talking to the people who are level-headed, to the people who normally are rational in aspects of life and areas of life. Certain people who normally are the ones that have it together, but still there's always an occasion where they might get irrational too. Who's ready to talk about it tonight on the F.I.R.M podcast?
I'm ready to talk about the irrational people.
Are you ready? Well, we talking about breakups, and sometimes we've all dealt with a breakup, but all of us haven't really discussed the irrational things that show up for a breakup. So we're going to talk about it tonight, right here. If you don't know, at the F.I.R.M 365 24/7 at the Firm 365 24/7 on Facebook at the Firm 365. We live on YouTube and Facebook. Join us now. Tell a friend, share the page, and let's get into it with your hosts, Ulysses and Flavius. What up, what up, what up, world? You already know what it is. Follow the page. Show your love by following the page. Like the page. And we've been getting a lot of likes and a lot more follows, you know what I'm saying? But I need you to share the page. Go to our page and share the page to your friends so they see what's going down and what you tune into. Sometimes people need to know the well from which you are watering. Some people need to know some of the source of where you get some of these conversations. And when you in the stirring pot, when you in the mixing pot, that's when it's time to start bringing everybody in. You know what I'm saying? Don't let your opinion be the number one opinion in the room if you want what's best for you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it might be, but sometimes on Facebook and on YouTube, we telling advice that others can take. There's no plagiarism. You know what I'm saying? We treat this show like the word of God. There's no plagiarism, no original thought. It was all given. It was all written. You know what I'm saying? So what up, y'all? You know what I'm saying? Welcome everybody. I know it's Sunday night and it's late, but we in this piece. Who's in here with us? Ulysses. Greet the people, sir.
What's cracking lacking, everybody? Hope everybody is doing well this beautiful, beautiful Sunday evening. What gotta give the caution, people. Gotta give the caution, people.
Good.
If y'all thought last week's conversation was interesting, this week is gonna be OMG. But thank y'all so much for tuning in to another edition of the F.I.R.M podcast. We're here. We fellowship in a righteous manner. Don't forget, as FLAVIUS said, share the video live. Go ahead, hit that share button, drop that microphone emoji, whatever it is y'all gotta do. Let the peoples know that you are watching something cool, something insightful. But most of all, y'all, something where that everybody can relate to. We've all been through situations when it comes to breakups, a normal breakup, a toxic breakup,
Hold on.
all that wonderful. Hey, I know. I'm trying.
Yeah, you can relate.
I'm trying. Forgive me, y'all.
You do.
Listen, y'all. I'm going on 4 hours of sleep. So you know the things that may come out of my mouth tonight. You know, I'm giving that
safe space on the F.I.R.M podcast, especially for the host.
I'm giving that caution, you guys. I might be a little wild tonight because you know, but hey, I'm just joking, you guys. Kind of, sort of, not really, kind of joking. But man, I'm doing good. I'm doing well, man. Like I spent the weekend in New Orleans this weekend. You know, okay. As they say, to the NOLA. Man, you know, just it was
NOLA.
So it was, you know, it was my first time actually like experiencing the town itself, the city. You know, I did go last year to watch a New York Knicks basketball game in New Orleans, but that's all I went for. You know, I went by myself. You know, watched the game and I came right back home. You know, so I never really had a chance to like fully experience that whole ordeal. But this weekend, you know, I got my coworkers in town for the next couple of weeks. You know, we got a big old project that's coming up that starts on Tuesday. So they're up here to help train. And it was like, hey, what are we doing this weekend? They was like, I said, one of the guys suggested, I want to go to New Orleans. I'm like, let's go. Let's do it.
New Orleans, New
New
Orleans.
Orleans, New Orleans, and so that's what we did, man. And so, um, you know, I realized if there was any weekend to know that I'm old, this was definitely the weekend to know that I was way past my bedtime, for sure, way past my bedtime. But man, no, but I had a great time though, man. It was great just to hang out with the fellas. You know, like all of them were good dudes.
Hey,
You know,
shout out to everybody who kept my boy up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'll be wanting to hit him up. He out of this. You know what I'm saying? It's too late.
it's
It's
too
past
late.
that bedtime. He don't play
I
about
don't.
his way. So
I
whoever was able to keep him up late, hey, shout out to you. You have no idea. You a real one. It is because you know.
I'm telling you, and this is what I told them because like most of them are pretty much my age, minus
Yeah,
one who's 30. The 30-year-old was the one that wanted to go everywhere, do
yeah,
everything,
man.
you
Keep it
know. And,
going.
and I'm like, and that's what I told him. I said, y'all, as long as y'all keep me moving, I'm
I'm
good.
good.
But if the moment y'all say let's take a break, next thing you know, you can be like, where ULISES at? I done took my tail back to the hotel to pass out. But man, but it was a great time, great atmosphere, man. You know, I came back. I you know went to New Orleans yesterday morning. Came back to you know I slept 3 hours last night. Slept an hour. Took an hour nap. And,
Okay. Okay.
and I know I was tired because I don't know if it happens to y'all. Maybe it's just me, but when I snore, you can feel it in the throat. Like I woke up like I was like, oh
One
yeah,
of them.
yeah. I was snoring. Like I felt sorry. I feel sorry for my neighbors for sure.
Yes,
but
sir.
but outside of that, man, bro, I'm good, bro. But yourself, man, Flav, how was your weekend?
Man, enjoy the photos and the pictures and everything that you shared from your time out, man. It was nice to. It's always good to see your loved ones and your friends getting out. You know what I'm saying? Having a good time, seeing cities, the sights, the world. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And just kind of getting out, enjoying it, being normal human beings out there. You know what I mean? So it was good that you share. Anytime you go to the beach, anytime you go somewhere, man, you always share wonderful photos. I be like, who took this picture, man? Because my bruh, you know what I'm saying? I'll be wanting him to get into editing, but he sure take good photos. You know what I'm saying? Well, other than that, man, I'm doing good. I had something like super deep that I wanted to say. I probably thought about it maybe like earlier before I took a nap, like you say, our age kicks in.
mm-hmm.
And the dream I was having probably killed my whole little deep moment. You know what I'm saying? So I don't got nothing deep to say, man. What I will what I will say, man, is that I'm really enjoying where God got me right now, man. It's strange to get to your 40s and God still surprising you and God still shocking you and because the older you get, when you're young, man, you live your Christian experience in front of everybody, trying to prove everything. You at the altar crying, you at every service, you doing everything that could make you look dedicated. But when you get older and it has become a lifestyle,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It has become the only lifestyle that you know or perceive the world from. Like a lot of times, you know what I mean, you get to a place where you're comfortable, where you can kind of I don't know. I don't want to say like a la carte, like you curate your experience, but um, you can pray to be as conscious as a child of God as godly allowable.
yeah,
And I didn't want to wait till and those that know, I didn't want to wait till we got to heaven to start having a heavenly experience, and I didn't want to wait till I died to live a life of sonship. I didn't want to identify more with human beings in the world more than I did with God, and what I'm saying, His family and His kingdom and stuff. So I would watch movies like Face Off, or where you put on a new face, nobody knows that you're a different person under there. I would watch movies like Fight Club, where the personality would change, but you wouldn't be aware of who's taking action. in the same skin, or I would watch like certain things where the same looking individual could be having a whole different experience. That if you didn't know their secret, you wouldn't know where they're coming from and everything like that. So that's what I did with Christianity at one point. Um, Great leaders, great elders, great preachers, great support group, great network, different things like that. Tutelage, all the stuff that people probably think that doesn't matter, that I can't say if it doesn't or doesn't matter because it has been there and people are still alive that can say that guy online. Let me tell you about that guy. But I just wanted, like, what would Jesus like? What was it like in his skin, in the skin he was in?
Mm.
Oh, fully aware and conscious of people, himself, the difference, and the choices that he made, certain things that he chose not to say when. I mean, if Jesus was just like a blabbermouth, just like, let me tell you everything going on, that would have been me initially as a child of God. Like, soon as I'd have baby on up to once I got to 13, forget about wish ye not that I be about my father's business. Woman, you are not my mother and my father. And you will I've been with the priests of my father, correcting them on. I don't know what I would have done, man, but I'm glad. I feel and am taken by the relationship that the Lord had with God, being conscious of what the Bible says we would become if we would believe in Him. And it is something different. You know, you'd be surprised how few calls I get from church members when their families fall apart. How few call I get from people who currently go to church Sunday after Sunday when somebody's dying and they need a miracle, or when somebody is in a coma and they need them to wake up. You'd be surprised how few calls I get. Or I'm serious about this woman. I want to be with her for the rest of my life. I want to get married. You'd be surprised. I've been in this religion my whole life, and now I just feel compelled to come to God and you baptizing them. You'd be surprised how many people that already are in church don't make that call. But people who God is compelling outside of the church make that call.
That's right.
And I want to say this, and most of those people probably don't even tune into this because they know I'll be playing a character. They only want to, certain people only want to see you a certain way. But if any of those people watch this, I want you to know that every experience that you've had with me, I have been consciously aware as a child of God and very intentional with every experience you've had with me. I did it all on purpose. I felt like with what I knew, there was no other way for you to get to where He wants you to be. And still to this day, there's more I want to do and say, but there's no quid pro quo. And what you freely receive, you freely give. And it's not on me to paint the narrative or define myself in your life. I'm thankful for just being a part of God's process in your life. Don't ever take anything that I'm doing for fun, for entertainment, for business. Don't ever take that as something that is outside of what you needed from God from me. Because I get those calls, I get those DMs, thugs in the hood, family, whole family. If I show up, will make me pray over their dinner on a holiday when strangers are in the room. People who call me with their siblings in the hospital and need prayer, and they wake up the next day. I'm talking about when it's real. You'd be surprised how many people call me that have no church affiliation, no regular good standing church membership. You know what I'm saying? But have been there, have been called, have been amongst the congregation. You know what I'm saying? And I just want them to know, like, don't ever take none of this stuff the wrong way. Um, I can't afford with the time that we have to be whatever I could be to you. I only have a select period of time to get you to either seed or water, and it's God that causes the increase in your life. And I thank God for you, and that's all I want to say. But we got to get into this show, man. I've been talking, you've been talking, and I I'm speaking to some people that I know is gonna watch this. So I appreciate everybody, man, that's tuned in to the Firm Pressure Podcast. 2024 is a year of pressure. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that's just provocative. It's about what you've been going through. And some pressure busts pipes, but some pressure, the right amount, the right environment creates a diamond. And even though they say diamonds are a girl's best friend, they only are purchased by men because of the value between the both of this product that came from pressure. I believe that we're investing time to get you to where you're supposed to be. And it isn't to follow us, it's to follow the one that we follow. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more closely. Tonight we're talking about relationships that we have or as we have been. And you listen, man, as we said at the beginning, let's preference it like this so we can get everybody in the same frame of mind. When you think about the end, there are things that you will do that you would have never thought if you were not convinced the end was coming. We've watched people hear prophecy from 2011 all the way to now, talking about that year the end was coming. 2011, 2020, 2012, 20, you name it. Everybody has sworn every year after 2000, this is it. And what people have done during those times has been irrational for the most part. So when it comes up to breakups, this irrational belief of the end is flooding into your actions. And it's something that you got to address. It's something that we're going to address right here tonight. So with that being said, everybody, welcome to the Firm Pressure Podcast.
What up, world? It's the F.I.R.M.
Let's get it. Welcome to the F.I.R.M.
Oh, it's about to go down.
Set your schedule for 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Saturday Nights Live for a time that's one of a kind.
Woo-wee. There's nothing off the table, no trolling. We go from politics to religion to relationships to whether or not you like crunchy or soft tacos.
Woo! Forget about a love language. What about your love level?
Oh man, we excited for this one.
On all social media platforms.
So make sure you follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
Fellowship in a righteous manner. That's the banner.
With your hosts, FLAVIUS and ULISES. We roll at
6 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
Boom. We're talking about irrational breakups. Ulysses, man, I want to start it off right off the bat with a good question, man. We can't hear you right now. You know what I'm saying? But there you go. Do you believe? Here's the idea. The idea is sometimes, man, when some people think that it is the end, it's over. I'm not saying in a normal circumstance where, we ended it amicably and everything was blah, blah, blah and all that stuff. But a lot of times, man, irrationality kicks in when people are convinced it's the end. Would you agree or disagree?
Repeat that one more time.
I was going to say a lot of times when people are convinced that it is the end, let's say in a relationship, me and my, me and my lady, we done been through it. We done talked about it. There's stuff that both of us have told each other, you got to do this. You need to start doing this. But they don't. But right at the end, they want to start doing what's right. To me, that's irrational. Or somebody who, everything is going the way it's going, and we just have decided that we're not good for each other. It's a healthy, mature decision. This is not working out. We're gonna leave. Then all of a sudden, the same person that it has been good to you, but this relationship just ain't working. All of a sudden, start turning wicked and evil on you, start hating on you, and just start tearing you down. And you like, you didn't do none of this when we was together. And it's like, but they want to go out and spin the narrative. I broke up with them, or they was worse to me. But it's like to me that is a sign of irrational behavior at the end.
Right. No, it's and when it comes to whether somebody's irrational or somebody's logical or rational, what and again, context being so important is really all about their behavior, right?
Mm-hmm.
How were they prior to? How were they when everything started going down?
Right. Okay.
Because when everything's going good, bro,
yeah,
everybody's rational. Everybody's chilling. Everybody's having a good time. Nobody's talking crazy. Nobody's accusing you of anything because everything's cool.
Yeah.
But if we pay close attention, the irrational behavior has already been happening in the relationship. Nobody wants to pay attention to that because we're all in love. We are invested in this relationship.
So you're saying that there are signs of irrational behavior prior to you getting to the end?
I believe so. You will see it in somebody who's insecure or somebody who's jealous, right? I saw you over there, and who you with? Like, you didn't see me anywhere. I've been at the house chilling, right?
And so what is it? They're letting it go during the relationship? They're like, when you say, I've been over there, I was chilling, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Yeah, we take it as, somebody just feeling some type of way, like, girl, quit tripping. Boy, quit tripping. So there are certain behaviors that we kind of brush off to the side. We'll brush it off because, for some people, they think it's cute. Oh, that's my boo right there. That's just who he is, or whatever the case is, But so there are certain signs that if you actually pay attention, you'll see. Because here's the one thing that I know: you get people talking long enough, they will tell on themselves.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, who's the crazy person that thinks that they're gonna get into a perfect relationship, and just because those things show up during a relationship, like who's the nut out there that's really believing we're not working through these situations? You know what I'm saying? Because, like you said, those irrational things may show up in a relationship, but the only reason the relationship is continuing is because you've been able to work through those things, right? It's not like you're just out there. Okay, I see that craziness, but I ain't gonna say nothing. I don't know that, and don't pretend like you're that guy because you done got into arguments with women before because of the irrational stuff during it. So we're not gonna pretend like we're not who we are. That wouldn't benefit the fans. That wouldn't benefit the viewers. You know what I'm saying? We can't relate to those guys. We when we see the irrational stuff in the relationship, we address it in the relationship. Correct?
Nope. Nope. We don't. We don't address it because because it's one. Here's the thing. It's one thing to like the idea.
You're telling me that you've been in a relationship and the woman that you was with did something irrational, and you didn't address it. You let it go.
Let it go.
I'm talking to them. I ain't talking about what should be done. I'm talking to you. You let it go.
But the question is, why did I let it go? Right?
And you didn't say nothing.
No. It's not that you don't say nothing. It's that it's not being addressed properly.
But you address it though, right?
Sure. Hey, like
Yeah, no. So it's not that you don't address it properly. You address it. It might not be resolved properly, but you address it.
example, right? Example.
Yeah.
It was years ago. I was dating this girl, doing a podcast at my house. It was a long distance relationship, right? It was long distance. I'm doing a podcast at my house. She's watching the podcast, right? She's watching the podcast.
Don't do that, y'all. We just gonna ignore you. You gonna get mad. So don't try to make this.
You know what I'm saying? So
Go.
so the show ends, and y'all, like, for those who don't know, like when the show ends, Flavius and I still talk.
Yeah.
We talk for like it could be easy as 30 minutes or something, an hour, bro. I mean, we just conversating. Get off the phone with Flav, or get off the podcast with Flav. Call my girl, my ex. It's not a hello. It's not a hey, how are you? This is honestly got truth.
Straight.
Who's in the house with you? What? Who's in the house with you? Ain't nobody in the house. Ain't nobody in the house with me. There's somebody, because I saw you looking. You was looking a certain direction. Somebody's in your house. And I'm like, there's nobody in the house. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Right? So here's the thing. I talked about it. Like, girl, like, there's nobody in the house.
Yeah.
But where I messed up at was setting that boundary of the irrationality. Because her behavior was irrational. Yeah. But I loved her. So I took it as maybe this is just a one-off. And not something that she's actually not that red flag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, girl, there's nobody in the house. Like, what are you doing? Like I wouldn't cheat on you. I'm not gonna cheat on you, man. Like, I'm super excited to start all over, have a new beginning. Whatever, just selling her on all that stuff. But her irrational behavior was a form of jealousy, insecurity, whatever you want to call it, that she swore. And bro, and listen, you guys, the one question that I hate the most, I hate with a passion, because it's a very unfair question to ask somebody. Do you think I'm stupid? Like, how am I supposed to answer that when somebody's acting irrationally? Like, no, I'm not saying you stupid. No, but
I mean, but there's been times we've been on a podcast and I've noticed you looking around, might have heard a sound or something, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I'm listening in, I'm all in the studio and all this stuff. I could have thought that too. But if I know you, and I know how you roll, then the reality, the facts about you should override the irrational thinking. But I love what you're saying right now, because the topic of the show is irrational breakups. And what you're saying is some of the irrational behavior that shows up at the breakup is actually showing up during the relationship.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, people.
Okay.
Tell y'all in the comment section. Tell me I'm wrong. I told you I'm going on 4 hours of sleep. I'm going to be hyped tonight.
So okay. So let's just say it's happening during the relationship. You're giving credit to getting past these moments. What's the tale? What's the evidence? What's the confirmation that though we had this irrational conversation today, tomorrow there's gonna be something different for me to look forward? Like, what am I looking forward to tomorrow? Irrational behavior tomorrow, because you get past it, and sometimes the irrational moments are months or maybe years before a breakup comes.
I think what and I can only
You
speak for
can't
me.
ignore it by addressing it, right? By addressing it, you can't technically by default. You're not ignoring it.
You're not ignoring it, but as we said earlier, we're not handling it properly, right? Because like hindsight being 2020,
Mm-hmm.
hindsight being 2020. The moment I saw that type of behavior,
Mm-hmm.
I either could have ended the relationship or set this boundary, right?
True. Right.
Set this boundary. If this happens again, I, it's over. But instead, what people always do is what? Okay, okay, okay.
You
I apologize.
rationalize irrationality.
You
You try
rational
to, yes, sir.
justify it. Like, okay, you know what? Yes, that was crazy, but she said sorry. So now, I mean, that's the only thing I have is an apology.
Mm.
And someone in the good, like, well, I love her, she loves me, so we have to accept that apology, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have to accept it and just hope that it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
But
You got to
then
take certain things at face value. You don't know how genuine it isn't until they show you indifferent.
until they show you differently. But then when it happens again in other ways,
Mm-hmm.
I rationalize or I try to rationalize the irrationality.
And you know what, man? We sometimes, as believers, as Christians, sometimes what the comments say?
The chat saying that what
What
you
they
would
say.
what you tolerate will continue.
And sometimes what you tolerate is all you can live with. Go ahead.
She goes on to say that boundaries have to be set before. Very good point. But
Boundaries been set before. If you know anything about corporations, incorporations, business mindset, that's not really a finite thing in business. You know, the truth is you can amend bylaws, constitutions, corporate regulations. You can add to them, you can change them as time goes on. So it's not the fact that it's just what you establish, because you could establish. That's why some people are so disappointed. That's why some people get so pissed off, bro. They really establish everything. They do that. and you can't take that away from some people. They really are establishing things prior to. That doesn't mean that just because we build on this foundation that the walls we put up won't be infested with problems. What the chat say?
chat says you give them the benefit of the doubt, and so and that goes back to when we talked about the apology. That
And go ahead.
go ahead.
I was gonna say a lot of times, man, as Christians, we believe that we just, was born in heaven's hospital, and you know what I mean, and we walked right out of heaven and came to the earth for this earthly experience for whatever our Father has or His reasons, and and when we're done with this journey, we're going back to heaven. The truth is, we are not only born in iniquity and shaping, or born in sin and shaped in iniquity. We're born in a world that is separate from God. um, though it may be heavenly at times, it still feels, even God said it's going to get worse and worse. So, what a lot of people underestimate and ignorantly call themselves foolish. How could I have been tricked? How could I have believed this was the truth when I saw all these lies? How can I, you know what I'm saying? But the reality is, we all come from a kingdom of darkness. And once we get born again, we forget the reason why it's called being born again, because your place of origin was a place of darkness.
Yeah.
It'd be like, Tarzan born in the jungle, and then he shows up in the city, and we like, man, why you ain't wearing a suit? Now, he may go on to put on a suit, but there's still a process on how to wear it right. There's still a process on learning where to wear it. Tarzan might wear a suit every day if you don't tell him exactly the occasions he should wear it. But we treat ourselves as if we were not a part of an environment that is dark, that is wicked, that is full of hatred, that is envious, jealous, that the worst come from, that is described as the worst, and the best of the worst also come from there too. Just because another man's trash is another man's treasure, that doesn't mean that that man didn't find value in the trash. It was still in the trash.
Mm.
And a lot of times we kick ourselves because somebody lied to us and we forgive them and give them a chance and be like, man, why did I do that? Because you don't know nothing else other than liars. You was a liar too. Well, if somebody who's being deceptive or deceiving, and you know what I mean, they were being manipulative. Yeah, because and you recognize it because you was manipulative too. You came from an environment where you was manipulated. That was the way of life.
Yep.
Of course, you're gonna give somebody a chance. Your definition of grace doesn't come from a place where you've never done wrong, so you're forgiving people who have never done wrong that do wrong. Your position of grace comes from a place of you was the bad one and God changed your life. And every now and then you're kicking yourself or being hard on yourself for giving a grace that someone like you received when you have to give it to someone like you.
Right.
And you're not a fool. You didn't waste time. You did only what you were capable of doing. You're not Bill Gates' child. You're not Jesus. You didn't come from heaven and have to come down here and conscious of the plan the whole time. We are we God calls us out of the kingdom of darkness. No wonder you're giving people that are liars and deceivers and manipulators and cheaters and all this. No wonder you're giving them more than they can ask or think. Sometimes they'll turn around and make you feel bad calling you stupid at the breakup because of all the stuff they know another woman would have never did. And we walk away as if that's a leisure of ownership. This is who I am. I'm stupid. I shouldn't have. Yeah, you're right. Another chick would have never gave you that. And what we start slowly doing is putting away all the things that makes us different from the kingdom of darkness.
Mm.
We start hiding all of the kingdom of light characteristics and attributes that we were born again to because we want to be like that other one and get this person. When the truth is, that person is meant for somebody from where you came from, not somebody for where you're destined to be.
Right. You know, and so and just real quick for the chat, as we get into this whole irrational breakups, you know, is there a story where you dealt with irrational behavior?
And we're not talking about just at the beginning or during, because most of us do. There's always something to work through. I don't know who you ridiculous perfect people are that think you're gonna jump into this perfect relationship, but y'all crack me up.
What?
Y'all crack me up.
There's no perfect relation. What?
Secretly, y'all crack me up. Y'all really believe.
That's where I messed up. That's where I messed up at. Yeah.
I'm gonna just put this out there. If I wasn't a lover, I wouldn't have been married 3 times. I don't know what works.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried. And for all the women that think they are so different, 3 different people. It didn't work out. I love people's imaginations on why. I live with the reality of why. At the end of the day, I don't know how this works, and y'all crack me up. A person like me that has believed y'all. Oh, you got to establish everything in the beginning. All right, divorce. Next, you got to, you know what I'm saying, make sure that you don't ignore the red flags and the landmines and address everything and take them to God. Divorce. All right, next one. You got to be the man that, you know what I'm saying, you work, and you know what I'm saying, your wife ain't got to work. And you know what I'm saying, and you pay all the bills. And you get the money, da. I divorce. I'm out the line of suggestions. All right. I'm just gonna let God leave me. But I got some stories from the journeys that none of y'all have been on. Couldn't even relate, probably drive you to depression or worse if you ever experienced what I experienced. but I'm looking for what y'all talking about. So I do get the irrational part within the relationship, but I have experienced when the end comes, even the stuff that popped up, red flag, no red flag, over forgiveness, over gracing, whatever, whatever we do on our aspect of the relationship. You know, even God said that He'll sanctify marriage if we decide to choose somebody who's not sanctified
Right.
for the kids' sake. Regardless of what God is willing to do for us, in my experience, though the irrational has shown up during, it's like another level when they think it's over.
So what do you think causes somebody to be irrational when it comes to the end of the relationship?
I don't. I'm not gonna say what I couldn't say what causes it because there's billions of people in the world. We know that YouTube, Facebook alone reaches masses. Maybe not all the billions of people in the world, but they reach a lot of folks. So to be able to say what causes it to that many people, there's always going to be a majority that say, "Nah, it's this." What I will say to that is that there is a human reaction to the end of something. When you're in school and you get ready to become a senior in high school, you done went through all the grades before you go to college. If you're about to be a senior in high school or you are, there's a thing that they tell you when you start slacking off. When you start doing the things you know won't get you, they're irrational. You know you have to do your work to pass. Rational. You begin to do less, believing you're going to pass. Irrational. They call it senioritis. There's a condition that you get when you're in the military and you've done so much time and it's the year and you're ready to get out the military. It's your final year. They almost compare it like, man, you don't even care no more. Oh man, you about to get out, man. Come on, man. What you gonna do with your life? And the things that a person says, man, I'm getting out because of this, because of this, because of this. You'll find that same person 10, 15 years later saying, man, if I knew how long it took to retire out here in the world, I'd have stayed in the military. I'd have retired about 5, 6 years ago if I'd have just. There is something about the end of something that causes a reaction. Everybody before they hit their next birthday, they have a reaction to what they're going, to the end of the age that they're living. Every new year, people are either dreading the new year or trying to make statements of purpose for the next year or trying to plan for the next year. You know, if they were sucking all year, they rebound is coming next year. And it's totally irrational what they're saying because there's no evidence for the last 12 months that they could do this. You almost want to ask them like, yo, if you could do that, why you didn't do that 6 months ago? Why you didn't do that this year? Well, I didn't know. And you understand, like, when it comes to the end of the breakup, bro, I've seen some of the nicest couples become evil to each other.
Yeah.
When it comes to a breakup, I've seen people who were a problem to each other during the relationship, right at the end, start acting like angels. Doing stuff that you didn't even ask them to do. All you wanted to do was not argue. All of a sudden, they ironing your clothes, setting your clothes out the next day, preparing your lunch. All you wanted to do is ask them, check on them periodically through the day. Some point in the relationship, they said, you texting too much. I was busy. Why you always got to, you know I'm all right, I'm going to meet you at home. Right when the breakup is coming and they see it's in view, they're convinced it's over. They texting you every day. Hey, just checking on you. How you doing? What did you eat for lunch? I got some dinner ready for you when you get home. Blah, 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 blah. Or the man. You know you have been putting this woman on the edge of trust the whole relationship. She's always at the ledge, just trying to believe you. Got to wait for something that you say that convinces her, the evidence, as if it's court, just so that she can stay in a relationship of trust with you. Barely hanging on to the trust she got. And then right when the breakup is coming and she done, she tired of it. You know she tired of it. Both of y'all know it's over. All of a sudden, you at home like the raincoat. You ain't even gotta trust you no more because you always in view. You volunteering information. Hey, I'm going over here about to hang out with my homeboy. I just wanted you to know. Be home in a little bit. Hit me up if you're looking for me. I'm right here. And it'd be like, this is irrational. Why did you do that
before.
during the relationship? Why
So
you waiting to the end to do right by this woman? Why was you such a good woman to this man? And then because he's saying it's over, now you become this evil, wicked woman. I can't say what it is about the end. All I'm telling you is there is a reaction to the end of breakups and relationships that we're not talking about. And what I want that aspect, one of those aspects about a breakup is how irrational people can become.
I think what happens, man, is when you're dealing with
I
irrational.
had a woman tell me she was pregnant one time, bro. And I'm talking about I ain't known for no accidental children. I got 4 kids. Wasn't none of them no accident. If I got kids that was an accident, they God didn't want them here. But all mine's on purpose. This woman tried to tell me that she believed she was pregnant, hoping because I'm a good man and everything, I was going. And she was a great woman. I mean, great cat. She screwed it up with all this lying and stuff. But if she hadn't have brought this in, I'd probably be married to her to this day. Thank God for saving us for what we don't know. But everything was going good. She hit up with the fake pregnancy, and this is the second time I done had a woman. The first woman was real enough to tell me she was just trying to break things off with my ex and get my ex spooked off, and that's why she said she was pregnant, but she really wasn't. Real ones would, hey, I ain't gonna knock you for what you do for what you think is worth it. But the second one was a flat out lie, hoping that I would lower my guard, hoping that I would lower my protection methods and all this other stuff at the time. And now that she said she's pregnant, I would have just I would have went ahead and consummated everything. I would have went ahead and allowed everything, and she would have been pregnant. And the trick would have made me illogically consider how many months it really took for her to get pregnant versus the day she said she was pregnant, because it probably would have been 2 or 3 months too soon. But this was so irrational because you come over, you're nice to me, you can answer every time I call. You're introducing to your children in a healthy way. You're cooking, even though you put a little too much salt in it. That's neither here nor there. But you're cooking for me. I'm a man of simple comforts. All I need is God. Anything on top of that is extra. So everything was going good, but when I was like, yeah, but our conversation ain't great, and kind of you thinking about having more kids and rational stuff. I'm older than you. I've done that, been married, have kids. Regardless, it ain't about whose fault it is. I'm just telling you what you're dealing with. And I was like, I don't think we want the same future. It'd be better for you to go find a man that wants these things. You're a great woman. Any man would, you know, any man attracted to you would be happy to have you. They would stand before God and say you are blessed. However, some of the future plans, I really don't. I know for a fact. It ain't like maybe, maybe not. I know for a fact I'm not doing that. So instead of wasting each other's time and sending each other mixed signals or leading each other on, we're gonna end this. I'm pregnant. What? Wait a minute. What? Before we discuss this adult conversation, this mature conversation about breaking up, this never came in. All of a sudden, you doing, and I ain't even gonna tell for the sake of that person and their family how far the charade went. Ulysses knows, but he'll keep my secrets, and we'll take them both to the grave. But unless I bring them up, you're free to talk about it. But it went way beyond this claim. And this was so irrational to the. I even told you, listen, this girl done screwed it up. Even if I was gonna second guess myself, she done messed it up. I never knew she was crazy like this. It's crazy. It just had to be God trying to save me for this because this crazy would have slipped under the radar.
Yeah.
What is that? Why is a breakup
Because
so
because
such a
when
freeway for irrational activity?
because what you're dealing with is again is and it goes back to the phrase that everybody loves to use, right? Manipulation. Irrational people have to, in some way, form, or fashion, manipulate what's happening.
Mm.
They, her telling you she was pregnant.
And I just want to say this side note. I'm not impressed with everybody out there trying to manipulate. All it is your way of trying to control the situation. You're not a master manipulator. You're just a control freak. Go ahead.
Exactly. So literally, when you deal with people who are irrational, you're dealing with people who manipulation is all about control. At the end of the day, the foundation of manipulation is control. Once somebody realizes that they don't have control, they will go to whatever lengths they have to try to gain that back. Her thought and a lot of other people's thoughts are, let me find out what matters to him or to her. For people like us, family. We love our kids.
Man, love my baby.
We love our kids. So what do? They use what you love against you. So I'm pregnant. Oh, now you calling me a liar? Oh, you are abandoning a pregnant woman?
How could you?
How could you? I thought you were. Then they begin to question your character.
And if they doctors could chime in, they'd be like, "Quit lying to this man about being pregnant. Come on, back over here and get some help."
Yeah, and what they do is the irrational people will cause you to try their very best to make you doubt yourself, doubt who you are. How could you? I thought you were different. I thought you were a woman of God. I thought you were a man of God. How dare you? I'm telling the truth. I'm doing what is right, and you don't believe me? Do you think I'm stupid? Just have to throw that in
You
there.
think I would lie to you about something like this?
My serious is. I mean,
Girl, this ain't working out, and you know what I mean. We done been at this for a minute. You know what you want. I know what I want. We've already bumped heads before, and we both know, this ain't it. So we just gonna call it quits. Let's end this amicably. Let's go our separate ways. And I wish you the best of luck. And blah blah blah. I'm dying. I just talked to the doctor. The doctor said I need a vacuotomy and a hysterectomy, and I got to get my tonsils pulled, and I got a cyst over here, and I got a hernia over here, and I got a benign cancer that then came back, and and if you would just stay with me, all this stuff would go away.
They will do it because. And here's the thing about people who are irrational. You cannot convince them that they are acting irrational.
How dare you? How dare you think they're acting irrational?
You blowing up somebody's phone is not rational. It's irrational.
You hit me 20 times in 20 minutes? Jesus.
It's irrational. But somebody who's going through it, it is not irrational. I'm trying my best to get your attention. I need you to hear me. That's all they care about.
And I'm gonna make, going back to the control, I'm gonna make you're gonna pick this phone up.
Yep.
No, I'm not.
They irrational people don't care about somebody else's feelings. They don't care about how it makes you feel. It's about what they are going through, what they need. And they need you for you to pick up that phone so you can hear them out.
Man, it almost seems like the better of a person you actually are, the worse you get treated in a breakup. Like you said, we love our kids. If one day, if it's relevant, you might hear a story about a woman taking a pregnancy on us. It may be a different story if you heard it again. And you'll be like, man, changing the story. You don't know how many times this has happened. I know there's a bunch of men out there. You're having a hard time just getting one woman to love you and want to be with you for her life. That's not what these hoes are, okay? They all try to lock us down because they know the truth about us. Beyond talent, a gift, just personality. They know the truth about who we are as men. Three women married me. I ain't gonna tell you how many I couldn't marry and didn't want to marry or wouldn't marry. And it ain't changing the next woman I meet. If she understands and learns the type of man I am, she'll want to do the same thing. That has nothing to do with clout. That's a reality that I can call my mother up and say. There's a reason why she tell me to be careful about women, because I'm what they want to settle down with. However, I've been guilty of acting irrational at a breakup. It ain't just me. I'm not coming from no victim mentality, even though I got that side of the story too. I have a I used to God. I used to. I was the you almost had it guy. This is a secret that I don't talk about because and you probably won't hear me talking about it much. I was convinced that I was the you almost had it guy. I went through high school. Homework and different things like that is easy to me. I came in one time and aced the test, had no study research. I told the teacher that I hadn't studied my homework. They said, Flavius, all you have is the examples on the board. I went over a couple of them for the test, but I came to class late. I looked at what was on the board. I aced the test. I went to college, Ivy Tech, community college, just to kind of dip my toe in before anything, college. But I dipped my toe in. My math teacher, which I've always struggled with math, told me I was a top tier student. It's not that I'm dumb. It's what I'm doing that sometimes causes me to be the you almost got it. I listen to this. This is a fact, and there are people that are live, probably watching this show or will watch it later that don't chime in too much, but always whenever I'm talking to them personally, they be saying how they saw the show. I don't know how that works, but you know what I'm saying? I appreciate them watching too. I hope one of them jumps in the comment section and calls me out if they ever catch me in a lie. You listen, you know this. I almost graduated high school on time, but I had to go 2 months of summer school and everything so I can get the right credits. And I did graduate. I don't have no GED, but I almost graduated on time with my class. I enlisted in the military. I almost finished all my time. But if you look on my record, it says 3 years and 11 months, 10 or 11 months. I almost you know, have had a successful marriage. It's always like right at the time where I'm having my eureka moment where I'm like, oh, I get it. Oh, this is what I need to do. Nothing on that side can ever change the other side. I mean, I've been out here. I'm a young man. I'm out here running in the streets, living how I want to live. You know, slap Texas and the South and whatever. I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? In the Midwest together. I do what I do. I'm an alpha male king. You know what I'm saying? And I do whatever I do. You just gotta be cool with it. Just know I ain't trying to hurt you intentionally. You know, my granddaddy had two wives. I'm doing me, but I'm not hurting you. You only hurt when you find out what else I'm doing, but you ain't never felt like you lacked anything from me. Blah 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 blah. And bruh, and then a moment will come where I'm like, she's right. I've been breaking her heart. I've been telling this woman I lied, all while justifying my betrayal. I'm wrong, bro. I stopped calling my friends and call my elders, my dad, just so I can hear them tell me I'm wrong. Man, tell me I'm wrong for what I'm thinking, because if you don't, I'm gonna keep on staying in the same cycle, justifying my activity. You wrong, man. They don't deserve that. You know what you reap, you sow. You're putting in some stuff in the ground right now. When that harvest come back around, you're gonna be unhappy. All right, I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna start doing what's right. You know what? You right. Everything she said was right. What you saying is right. I done had these conversations with myself. God been trying to work on me, and you know what? I'm ready. Ah, new man. I'm ready to be a good man. I'm ready to be faithful. No, I don't want to be with you. I'm happy that you're getting yourself together. I'm happy that mentally and emotionally and spiritually you in a better place and everything for yourself. But I just want you to put that towards your children. Whatever happened with us, whatever you arrived at is irrational to me. I'm leaving the person you have been, not the person you're trying to be. And to them, my actions were irrational and I lost it. To the school. But I could just give me some of the late assignments. I can make up the extra credit. That's irrational. You did exactly what it takes not to make it. The military, you did exactly what it takes not to make it. I understand that you're a better soldier now. You thinking about your ways. You know what I'm saying? Hindsight is 2020. I see who you are the last 12 months. Man, you ain't been nothing like what we getting ready to hold against you. I'm gonna go in and try to say how much it changed, but it won't change the fact that of what we've seen. And it's irrational because it's like if this is who I really am at the end, I should have been that the whole time. And what you're saying is the same thing. If I was doing wrong during the relationship, doing right at the end is not going to make everything right. Same thing. If you've been doing irrational things all the way at the end, you trying to become rational in the end is not going to work.
It changes the narrative because, like, literally, here's the thing about when you're dealing with irrational situations is that in some form or fashion we're all guilty of being irrational, right? Because we are trying to figure out how to get our way in the easiest way, sometimes in the easiest way possible. Let me do this. If I could do this, it's too late. It can't be too late. It can't be too late because it goes back to control. How can I get my way in this situation? I need to get my way. So when you're dealing with breakups, what do I need to do to show you that now I'm serious? Knowing that my behavior show nothing about being serious. For years, I've been telling you this is what I need. For months, I've been telling you I need you to do this. And now that I'm done, now you want to? You know, because it's like, what do you do when you are dealing with irrational breakups? Because one side is trying to be rational. They're trying to be logical. Because they learn how, like, irrational people, bro, they can't see past their own nose. They just can't. I'm looking at what I need. Mm-hmm. They're not necessarily concerned about what you need.
Right.
They're trying to figure out what they need, and they will use you and your emotions to make that happen.
True.
No, this is, and what do they do? Babe, this is for us. This is for us. I'm changing for us.
Yeah.
No, you're not. Like, and the one situation when it comes to irrational behavior, or somebody who cannot see their own fault. I'm learning about.
I don't believe that. I don't believe you don't see your own faults. I believe that it is something about yourself you can't change. You recognize and hear that it's bad, but you just try to excuse it. I don't believe in ignorant people like that, bro. I don't believe that.
Bro, they
They
can.
know.
Bro,
they know.
They can't. No.
They don't want to admit it, and they're trying to convince you they can't. But nobody's gonna believe they can't see they wrong. You know you're wrong. You're just trying to excuse it because you can't change it.
No. But here's the thing: you're not excusing it. These people.
No, they excusing it. Is what I'm saying.
These people are so convinced that they cannot see what they're doing.
I would say the same statement. They are so convinced that they can convince you not to see it. Bro. Not that they're not convinced. You can get it, man. You can get in a long toxic relationship trying to convince somebody when they say, I don't see it. They tricking you. They see it. Bro. They don't want you to see it. They mad that you see it too. They wondering how in the world you seeing it.
Listen to this.
People are not dumb, bro. They don't believe no woman telling you that bullshit.
Bro, listen to this. and because you're thinking logically.
I got you.
You're thinking logically. How can they not see what they're doing?
Yeah.
But what do you tell somebody who's used to a certain type of behavior? This is their life. They're used to dealing with people like this. Like I dealt with somebody who, when they started acting irrationally, bro, I would hang up on them or I'll block them. Right?
Okay.
How can you blah 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 blah? You don't love me, blah blah. How do you do that to your? They're not used to dealing with people who think logically. So in their view, your behavior is illogical.
What kind of reverse psychiatry?
But it's because this is what they're used to. Your behavior is illogical because this is what they're used to. They're used to the drama. They're used to people fight. Well, I fight with my exes all the time, and they don't X, Y, and Z. Because you're used to this type of toxic behavior. So when you're dealing with somebody who's healthy or healing, right? Because we're all in this process of healing. When you're dealing with somebody healthy, somebody who's healing, you see it. You see the illogical. You see the irrational. I'm not dealing with that. What is irrational? Why do you get upset when I blow up your phone till you call me back? Because that's not rational. That's not healthy. What do you mean that's not healthy? You're supposed to answer the phone. No, I don't need to answer the phone. If you call me, I'll call you back when I'm ready to call you back. No, but then it goes back to that control. It's about control. You call me when I need you to call me. No, that's not how this works. If you call me, you're upset, cool, whatever. Give me time. Logical people will give their partner space. Will give the partner time. Irrational people blow up. How come not answering? How come not answering? And then that makes, because why? Because they can't control the situation.
Yeah, I don't care if you was in a meeting with your bosses. I don't care if you was talking to such and such. I don't care if you was on the phone with your mom or your daddy. You pick up when I call.
Bro, there was one time I was in a sheriff's department handling a serious case. A coworker did a drive-by in the yeah. I'm in the sheriff's department, and this person is like, answer the phone. I can't. Tell them you need 5 minutes. I can't. Tell them that, and start being so irrational. Just started going off.
Oh man.
Because they bro, I'm telling you, because of what they're used to, your healthy manners, behavior is irrational to them. It's not to them. You are the one that's crazy. One that's not acting right. Because everybody in my life has done this. How come you are?
So what is normal to a person can bring bias to their rationality or rationale. Blessings. So based off a person's personal experience is how they perceive what's rational and irrational. So even though you might be thinking, yo, this breakup is sparking this irrational act. You know it's over, I know it's over, and now you're acting crazy. Or you know it's over, I know it's over, now you're trying to act right. Both people could have to be looking at the same thing two different ways. Oh my God, man. That's why breakups be so toxic though, man.
Because here's the thing.
Everybody talking about that breakup where you just end it amicably and then both sides walk away and not become lifelong supervillains to each other.
Those are rare.
Most of us are experiencing the lifelong supervillains to each other.
Because here's the thing. A lot of people, like you know, people who've been cheated on, right? People who've been physically abused, whatever the case is, they take their experience and make that the standard. They take their experience and make that the narrative for everything else that they deal with until they heal. I've been this way. This is what happened to me. So therefore, I have trust issues. I have whatever issues. I can't handle because this is what this is.
Yeah.
People who are healed can say that. This is my experience, but I know there's good people out there. I know there's healthy people out there. Somebody who hasn't healed from that situation will make their experience the standard that everybody else has to follow.
Now listen, I know before we get out of here, I want to throw this out too. I know that sometimes when things are going, when it comes to a point where two consensual adults in a relationship decide the relationship is over, sometimes there's a temptation to paint the narrative. Oh, I broke up with them. They broke up with me. Remember, that's how it was when we was kids. Who break up with who first? Oh, no, she ain't break up with me, Doc. I broke up with her. Oh, no, that boy didn't break up with me. I broke up with him. You know what I'm saying? I said it was over.
Right, right.
Then we get a little older, and it's more or less a reason behind it. Nah, I had to break up, man. I had to let that thing go because. Then we get a little older, there might be kids involved. Well, I got to do what's right, best for the kids. That household was not a healthy environment for the children. And I'd rather spend the rest of my life helping them heal through what we put them through than to keep them in that situation. There's different places in life where you might come out of a breakup a different way. My thing is that sometimes it's not the end. Sometimes people are just convinced it's the end. We've all experienced that with God. You felt like there was something you did in the night, something that you said, some sexual act, some manipulation that you let ride, didn't clear it up, something that you did that makes you concerned if God is going to break up with you, if He's going to end this relationship.
Hmm.
And when people have, sometimes they've been the worst they could be, and then all of a sudden they try to turn around. God, I'm not, I'm doing right by God. I'm changing my life, and blah 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 blah. You like, yeah, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I know you got prison on the line, or I know you been caught a STI or something, and now you lost your situation. Now all of a sudden you clinging to God because you think whatever you've done, He's gonna separate from you when we know He's not. Or it's that mindset that of being convinced something is the end. When a lot of times if you live a life where grace and mercy are given and not earned, a lot of times what we think is the end is not the end. It doesn't have to be the end. But our actions in being convinced that it's the end, they do matter. I dealt with a woman that I ended up reconciling years with and getting back with and had a healthy relationship with her. But initially, I was a player. I wasn't no pimp, no gangster, no thug, no nothing. I danced in talent shows and performed at the showcase for women to be screaming my name. Young Flav. I can't move like that no more. But Young Flav thought he was Michael Jackson before there was a Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? That's an Indianapolis thing. Everybody down here think they can dance. But anyways, this is one of them places where that culture is heavy. Dancing, moving, and being able to move in a way that would provoke a woman to arousal or excitement. I was so caught up in being who I was, maintaining who I was, that it cost me a serious relationship. A relationship that was serious about love. That love was, this was a real one. What I wasn't willing to do during the relationship caused the relationship to end. I can't even say, and I'm not even going after all this time in the moment. I'm not even going to give myself the benefit of the doubt that I did everything right to save it. Um, but I reconciled with this same person at some point in my life later on, and we ended up having a healthy relationship at that time. And this was a relationship that everybody told me I had done everything wrong. I never get it back. It would never happen. It's just certain things you got to let go of because that's the end of it. It's over. Move on. Had God really believed that, had God been convinced that it was over, the end had come, and if He had been as convinced as I was, I'd have never had the reconciliation after the fact because it was years later. The narrative was, if anybody gets back, it ain't gonna be you, brother. You was the first to break the heart. You was the worst of the worst. You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. But sometimes what you do in the end does matter. What I chose to do was to become a better man for anybody that I would ever find that would be good to me like this woman was. And I promise you, man, I'd have been with some women. I was like, boy, you don't deserve a man like me. Not because I had always been, but because I knew I changed from somebody I wasn't with. I'm like, this man right here would be perfect for her. You don't deserve this type of man. You would run over this type of man. You would manipulate this type of man. You would, man, I feel sorry for men like this that run into you. Because this type of man is great for her, but you'll victimize a man like this. The end was not what I thought. I was convinced it was the end. And God said, this is not the end. He just didn't say it out loud for me to hear it. You know what I'm saying? I had to discover it. But apparently he said it because it came back. And I'd rather live an irrational life with God than an irrational life on earth as a man. I'd rather face reality here on earth and make changes than to hold God every year that he has to make sense to me. Lord, you do all the crazy stuff you do. Just don't let these crazy people down here get the best of me. You can, but don't let them do it. You know what I'm saying? And the anxiety we feel, the regret, remorse, the I'm gonna get it right this time before I let it go. I'm gonna just burn them on the way out. Excuse my finger. It slipped up. I'm gonna just burn them on the way out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna do whatever I do to them. Like a lot of times, it is the belief that something is ended that can bring out the worst in people. And it comes from giving up hope. Irrational breakups are the manifestation of a hopeless relationship. When you think truly there's nothing more to gain, nothing better, no turnaround, even though you're like, I hope this last little stretch would make them appreciate me, or I hope this last little stretch save this. The value in your efforts has to be in your hope. Because a lot of people are taking last minute actions in places where they have no hope. They're putting so much effort in a place that they don't even have hope. You don't believe it's going to work to stop this breakup. You don't believe what you're doing is going to stop the end. But you're still doing stuff. So by default, whatever you're doing, you're not doing it in hope. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. Faith is evidence of things not seen. And when you're crossing from reality into something that you cannot see, something that holds no visual evidence, that is when you need faith the most. Yeah. And when you are pursuing something and you're hopeless, your faith is at home on the coat rack in the closet. You didn't bring it out today. Because there is no faith without hope. Faith don't work. How long y'all gonna let these preachers tell y'all to power your faith with expectation, and you ain't seeing nothing happen? How long are y'all gonna tell them to fill your gas tank of faith up with anything else other than hope? Your tears, your expectation, your quid pro quos with God, your deals with God. How long are you going to tell your time, your money, you're going to pay for the right level of faith to kick in your life? How long are you going to put empty gas in your faith tank when all it takes is hope? When I gained hope that I would be the right man for a specific individual that I lost, I lived past every relationship I had to see the hope come to pass. Not even expecting that I appreciated the man I became, who I was not. And even if I didn't get back with this person or find him again later on in life, I'd be okay knowing that I was the better for it. But it wasn't my expectation. It wasn't me trying to prove something to the next woman or the next woman or the next one. It was the secret hope that I never let die, that I could be the right man for a good woman. God showed me that a good woman could be the same woman, or it could be somebody I never ever met in my life. But a lot of the irrational part of a child of God when it comes to a breakup is when you approach your breakup without hope. But you still make effort for it not to end. That's irrational of a child. Jesus would never approach something that was coming to an end, believing that it would not end without his hope. Breakups become irrational, toxic, and lies start. People get desperate and say stuff they never said to you. The whole ride of the relationship can show up. The truth is, do you have hope in you? And if you do have hope, while you're walking and cautiously approaching the end of something, you'll be surprised what's on the other side of your hope. Everything don't end. And if we had to just settle with everything comes to an end, there wouldn't be a such thing called eternal life. One day our lives are going to end. Some of y'all thinking about death are going to have irrational days. You're going to start acting very irrational, believing that your time is short.
Mm, right.
But you're still holding on to a promise from the word of God that beyond this, whatever, life will go on. Now, if you are hoping that the hope in God in you is going to be true for the journey, why are you not using that same hope about things in your life you think have come to an end? Why are you listening to every meme and every story online saying you got to close the book on this? Sometimes you got to just kick all your friends out. Sometimes you just got to be alone. Sometimes you got to get rid of that. Don't some of these things that are popular on social media don't feed the nature you've been given.
Yeah.
And for us, that's what cancels the irrational breakup, a hopeful one.
You know, and in my closing, man, I just want to stress to the people really like once you understand the value of peace. And what do I mean by that? Like with my job, you know, I interview people for a job. I can interview anywhere between 5 to 10 people, whatever the case is.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people who have the knowledge of something, they know a thing. But then there's other people who have the experience of that thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can have the knowledge of it all day long. But do you know the value of that knowledge?
Mm-hmm.
And do you put that into play? Do you put that into experience? Once you value, because anybody can get peace. You can read books on how to, you know, zen yourself out. You can do that all day long. But if you don't know the value of what you have, then you will never know its full potential, its full worth. And once you learn the value of peace, that will help you to not be irrational in certain situations, and it will help you to stay rational. Because irrational people, they need a reaction out of you. They need you to react. And once you don't react, you take their power away. They will become more irrational because they need that reaction.
That's good. I watched a little clip on Instagram earlier. There's a breakup happening. A girl was like, I throw your, I damage your TV. He was like, don't do that. You got it on camera. Don't do that. That ain't even my TV. Well, I'll break your PlayStation. I throw it out the window. And he sat there quietly. She picked it up, unplugged it, went to the window, opened it up, and like turned around and was like, you don't think I'll do it? You want me to do it? I'll do it. Bro. You want me to do it? Bruh, the dude stayed quiet the whole time, and because he wasn't giving her the reaction she wanted, the Xbox never went out the window.
There was a situation where this female threatened to kill me because I was breaking up with her. Threatened to kill a boy. Kill your boy.
I think that show snapped.
Yeah. And so she was like, "What? You don't think I'll come to you?" And la la la. Usually in situations like that, oh, you won't kill me? Well, guess what I'm gonna do? I mean, bro. I mean, you threaten my life. Man, I'm a gang. I could throw the west side, the east side, the north. Which one you want? My reaction was this.
Throwing that cross up.
My reaction was this. You come to my house, I'm calling the cops. You won't call the cops on me? You won't call? I'm going to call the cops. And when the cops come, you're going to have two options. I mean, I broke it down play by play. You're going to have two options. Either you leave when the cops tell you to leave, or you'll be in handcuffs. And if you go out in handcuffs, I'm gonna let all of your family know you're gonna lose custody of your child because you got arrested. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen, and legally, this is gonna happen.
And these are just consequences. He's not threatening her with, "I'm gonna call your family. You're gonna lose your child." No. If you come down here acting crazy, I'm going to inform your family that I didn't put my hands on you. The police came because you was on some crazy stuff. Your child is going to be at home because you're a single mother, and CPS going to get involved. You need to think about these things.
And the crazy part about it is the irrational people. I don't care. You do what you got to do. You do. I'm just telling you. And so my response took away her power. Because if I would have acted crazy.
Oh, yeah, it'd have been on. It'd have been on.
Because listen, I've been threatened before. I've been threatened before by a dude one time. I'm gonna ride up to your house. I'm gonna kill you, mother beep. I said, bruh, I know where you live. I'm coming to you. That was my irrational response. But let me tell y'all something. The Lord intervened that day because he got the call, talking to this dude. Make a long story short, yeah, I was messing with this girl. My bad.
I got a prison call from a dude telling me he's gonna ride me around Indianapolis in his trunk, and I wasn't doing that with his girl.
so, bro, I said, bro, I said, man, I know where you live. As a matter of fact, I know the bed that you sleep on. I went there. I'm coming to you. Well, then come on, then, mother, beep. I hang up the phone. I call one of my boys up, like, hey, I'm gonna need your handgun. So I'm gonna need your handgun. Yeah. All right, come get it. Hear the phone. I'm getting dressed, getting ready to roll out. My mom calls. Bro, my mom calls. Ulysses, what's going on? Nothing. I'm straight. How, la la la. She was like, Ulysses, I had a dream last night. And that you was in this house, and the house caught fire, and you died. My mom didn't know nothing, but the word fire is what caught my attention. Because I was getting ready to go get a handgun. I was getting ready to go handle my business. And she's like, Ulysses, she's like, I don't know what's going on, but the Lord is telling me to tell you, you need to leave. Come to North Carolina. I was in Texas at that time. And I'm just like, all right. Because if there's no matter what type of life I'm living, I know when the Lord is speaking, right? I know when the Lord is speaking. Make a long story short, I found out through the girl that not only was he waiting for me, but 3 of his homies.
Yeah, they was on ambush.
They were all loaded up. The Lord spared my life that day from me acting irrational. Even in my sin, doing what I was doing, knowing I was doing wrong. The Lord spared my life from irrational behavior. All that to say this, your response is crucial to you not being irrational. Your response is crucial so you don't make the same mistake where you can lose everything. And I'm not talking monetary stuff. At what point do we realize that our peace is not worth being lost? That our joy is not worth being lost? That our kindness, or everything that FLAVIUS said earlier in the show, we're born again. We now live. We've been pulled out from the kingdom of darkness now into the kingdom of light. We have new characteristics. Why do we want to jeopardize the peace that we have? Yes, people are going to try to test you. They're going to test you, y'all. Don't fall into the trap of irrational behavior.
Man, listen, y'all. We gotta let y'all go, man. You literally normally wanted to cut us off, you know what I'm saying, at a good time. I think this is a great time to cut it down because we almost going into another conversation, a topic. But I think that everything that was said here tonight is worth your time. You know what I mean? Sometimes the way you act when you believe it's the end is a reaction or a result of you becoming hopeless. And the world, that's their lot in life. They can only put hope in what they see. And if they don't see it, there is no answer beyond what they see. So when they spaz out, I don't believe God is up there like, well, I didn't think he would do that. And neither should you if you're dealing with somebody who is a non-believer. You shouldn't be shocked and surprised. But if somebody is experiencing a believer, if they are experiencing you as a believer, at the end of the day, whether it is the beginning or the end, you should be more convinced of what your hope can do. It will keep you from the irrational you. Because going crazy is normal for the unregenerated. But for those who fellowship in a righteous manner, losing hope is what's wrong, is the problem. That's what leads you to being irrational. You stop asking God for help. You stop calling on the greatest wisdom of the Spirit. You stop asking God to give you the strength. You stop asking him to do the impossible. You settle with it because You're sick and tired or you're worn out. Your actions don't excuse the activities of you mimicking people in the world. And if you're going to be faithful, if you're going to fellowship, if you're going to be one of God's very own, if you want to convince the world that you are different when it comes to the righteousness versus the unrighteous, then what you need to do in your relationship is when you think it's the end,
yes, sir,
approach it in hope. When you think it's over, when you are convinced it's the end,
my God,
don't become irrational.
My God.
Don't think that somebody who tells you online that ain't even calling on your God, how they handle the end is the way you handle the end. Because the end will come for all mankind, and God is still giving a word on how those that he loves in this world should approach that end.
Woo!
And if he gives you a word that surpasses the end, then no matter what circumstances, on your job, with your family, with your children, with your loved ones, in a relationship, there is a word beyond the end.
Oh my God.
There is a word that will take you beyond the irrational and take you into the supernatural.
Hallelujah.
And ain't going to be no breaking.
Amen.
Because God took you broken.
Come on.
So why is there a breakup in store for you? The Bible says that the broken and a contrite spirit,
come on, sir,
God will not reject. So he took you broken to make you whole. And he'll give you a word that maintains you in your whole state.
Hallelujah.
So we gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? Hallelujah. And we gotta go. It's Sunday night. You know you had to preach one time. Hey. God bless you. We love you. Stay firm. Stay in fellowship. Stay righteous. Well, you don't have a choice if you're born again. You are righteous, as he is righteous. But stay in that manner. Don't forget who you are when the world is trying to make you something different. Remember who God made you. Love y'all.
What up, world? It's the F.I.R.M.
Let's get it. Welcome to the F.I.R.M.
Oh, it's about to go down.
Set your schedule for 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Saturday nights live for a time that's one of a kind.
Woo-wee. There's nothing off the table, no trolling. We go from politics to religion to relationships to whether or not you like crunchy or soft taco.
Woo! Forget about a love language. What about your love level?
Oh man, we excited for this one.
On all social media platforms.
So make sure you follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
Fellowship in a righteous manner. That's the banner.
With your hosts, Flavius and Ulysses. We roll at
6 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time. Boy, all that preaching made me. I gotta get my Oreos.
Side note to my little yeah, I mean, you try to break up with me, I'll show you some toxic stuff. I'm just saying this for the podcast. It's gonna be some irrational, crazy stuff. You try to break up with me, you know what I'm saying?
Where are my Oreos?
Oh yeah, my bad. Oh, are we still live?
Oh,
I mean, God bless you.